Hi, I'm Christopher Valdez, and today we're going to be talking about how should the U.S. government regulate social media. I'm going to go ahead and allow my peers to introduce themselves. Guys, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Beatrice Shodiende Igenti.
I'm Georgia Solis.
I'm Alejandra Mendez.
I'm Elizabeth Perrell.
And I'm Joy Robertson.
Okay, so our first slide is going to talk about when the government first started regulating social media. So there's little to almost no regulation when it comes to social media. However, there is a very important act and a law that help define or at least structure social media in general. The net neutrality, what is the net neutrality law? It is the principle that internet service providers must provide access to all sites, content, and applications at the same speed under the same conditions without blocking any content. Why is this important? Well, the net neutrality law is very important because it provides an equal and fair amount of traffic to any media or news outlet on the internet. Following the net neutrality law, there's the Communications Decency Act, which is a law that states that social media platforms are not liable for any unlawful content produced by their users or creators. Alex Jones is a great example of this because he is known for his comments about politics and conspiracy theories. After 2013, Alex Jones, who is known for conspiracy theories and controversial comments, he made a comment about the Sandy Hook shooting, saying that it was a conspiracy theory. So he was obviously sued for this, but he was not held liable because of the Communications Decency Act. There's also the Privacy Act of 1974, which basically helps keep the individual user protected from any unwarranted acts of invasion of privacy originating from federal agencies, collection, maintenance, use, and disclosure of personal information. Joy, go ahead.
Some pros to regulating social media. First, it prevents fostering terrorism. Terrorist groups use social media to recruit members and organize violence. Terrorist groups send out 2,000 messages every day. They use social media because it's cheap, accessible, and a quick access to a lot of people. Another pro is censor major platforms. It protects users and prevents violence. Like Facebook and Twitter, they're responsible for what goes on those major platforms.
Okay, so I did the cons of regulating social media. For one, it's going to inhibit your freedom of speech because I know on certain social media apps such as Twitter, there's only certain things that you're allowed to say. It's also an invasion of privacy and save it to use for data such as getting your credit card information, getting your location, and all those things. It also distributes inaccurate information. So an example of this would be when the protests started happening. The news clips would only show the protesters being aggressive towards the police as well as damaging some of the properties. However, this wasn't the case because on some social media platforms such as Twitter again, it showed the full clip of where the police officers would be the ones instigating the riots to happen. And the government can limit what they want the people.
Another way that governments regulate social media in different ways. For example, the Chinese government, they have forbidden Twitter, Google, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Instead, they have their own versions such as Weibo, Baidu, and WeChat. And unlike popular belief, WeChat does not actually have a social rating. There was a soft launch in 2009 in 8 cities, but after data collection, they recalled the soft launch and canceled the experiment. China also has a cyberspace administration where they closed 733 websites and cleaned up or deleted 9,382 mobile apps, later revealed to be used for illegal gambling. China also has a cyber police monitor where they monitor social media and screen messages that are deemed to be politically sensitive For example, the 1989 Tiananmen Square incident is a forbidden topic. In North Korea, internet is restricted to a small section of the elite who have received state approval and to foreigners who are living in Pyongyang. In 2004, mobile phone use was banned, but in 2008, limited use for government officials was reinstated with a limited 3G data plan and blocked access to external links. The EU has started implementing a clampdown on terror videos. They have started fining social media platforms if they do not delete extremist or terroristic content within an hour. A general data protection regulation was established, setting rules on how companies store and use people's data. The EU has also initiated a copyright directive, which makes sure that copyright infringing content is not hosted on their sites, also fining them for not removing this content.
How the government regulates social media today. The government uses Ofcom to police everything being posted on social media. If there's any harmful things such as violence, terrorism, cyberbullying, or child abuse, the company quickly takes it down and goes into investigation. Certain websites like YouTube and Facebook have their own set of rules and regulation. Multiple websites/apps have age restrictions, have terms and conditions, and you must agree with what's on there. If not, you can get into serious trouble.
Okay, so lastly, my slide is about our opinion on how the government should regulate social media. And luckily, this group had a lot of diverse answers. And so to some people, the government should not regulate social media because they think that it takes away our First Amendment right, which would be hypocritical to basically saying America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. And to others, they think that the government should regulate social media to a certain point where it doesn't feel like our First Amendment right is being taken away from us. Like, for example, during cyber attacks and in case there are bugs in the system, the government should be able to take care of those things without trying to harm us, the citizens, by taking away our First Amendment right, which is our freedom of speech. Thank you for coming and watching our video.